Jumping to a sport, actually, jumping to a real life, non-scripted, very spur of the moment sport known as professional wrestling. On the heels of the biggest event in professional wrestling, the biggest event that's happened in the last, 35. I don't know. What are we up to, Alan? What's this coming up? WrestleMania?
WrestleManias?
Yeah.
I honestly, I don't know. I've lost count at this point. Probably in your high 30s, pushing 40.
Yeah, I was going to say 85 was probably the first one, so 35?
Yeah, 35-ish.
It doesn't say in the story.
I think it was 85. No, it doesn't. 85, yeah, WrestleMania 85.
I say it started in 1985.
That's right. Do you remember the main event?
It was Hulk Hogan, Mr. T, versus Bob Backlund and the Iron Sheik?
Nope.
Okay, that was a good stab in the dark, though.
You had half the tag team, right? It was Hogan and Mr. T versus Roddy Piper and Paul Orndorff.
Oh, that's forgettable.
You're forgettable, I guess. So given the coronavirus pandemic that's taken place, WrestleMania will go on as planned, somewhat. They were going to. It was going to take place in Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. They refunded everyone their money. They're not going to do that. They're going to host it in what they call it's a performance center. So it's a little mini studio. They've done Raw there a couple nights. Is that right?
Yeah, they used to do NXT there too before NXT took off.
Whatever the hell that is. No, I know it is. I'm just kidding with you. So it's going to take place over 2 days, April 4th, April 5th. No fans other than strict WWE personnel. Going to be hosted by Rob Gronkowski. I don't know if he's going to be like a Bob Barker type. He sent out a tweet. Gronk's been getting in and out of wrestling. He's been involved here a little bit as of late. They were expecting 70,000 fans. Obviously, it's going to be cut down to that. I don't know, man. I got my mixed emotions about it. I'm not exactly sure if I agree with it, but I want to hear you two. You guys are wrestling fans. What do you think?
I mean, it's going to be weird. It's going to be very unusual. I feel like you might as well have just canceled it, but Vince don't like canceling nothing. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. It'll be pretty lame, though. I have a feeling.
Well, I don't know. This is like me and the XFL. Let's see what they pull off, because you might be able to get a lot more creative with some of the extracurriculars. Because the most exciting things about wrestling over the last 20 years has been everything that happens outside the ring instead of inside the ring, where the actual quote unquote sport is supposed to take place. So if you don't have fans there, it means you don't have any liability issues, and you can really open up. It kind of sucks that they're starting this kind of format with WrestleMania, but I feel like this could be something that if they could pre-tape shows, and I don't like the only thing I absolutely hate about it is it's a 2-day event now instead of a, one and done shebang. I don't get why you do it over 2 days.
Well, that's because they made WrestleMania 16 hours long. So
that's true.
Yeah, for the last 5 or 6 years, it's been an entire day event. So
now it can also control the market because there's no Final Four, so you can do it during that day.
That's true.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like ever since they cut the audience completely off from the wrestlers in the first place, it doesn't really matter. There was a time when we were watching it and it started that they just had the riot fencing up, and you could reach through and grab a wrestler if you wanted to. Now you might catch an elbow or a knuckle to the to the bridge of the nose, but that was a factor. The fans were the X factor, but now they've got all the walls and everything set up, so they've pretty much taken the audience out of the whole production anyway. So
no,
I don't know.
No,
what?
Because you can't touch or harass or punch or slap a wrestler. The fan isn't there. What about the pop and the audience getting behind it? The 1, 2, oh, and the you can't wrestle. I think you're taking a lot out of it without an audience.
Okay, that's a fair point. I guess I as a purist was concentrating solely on the acrobatics and sweaty athleticism of the men in tights.
I like the sweaty there. That's a throwback joke. I have my reservations about this. One, because like you're, I mean, does the pay-per-view buy totally smash does it far exceed the gate value? That way it's still profitable for them to do this, or do they just figure any of those 70,000 people are likely going to buy the pay-per-view anyway now that they can't come, so it's a win-win? Is that what's the economics behind it? Do either one of you know?
No, I have no idea. I mean, I would venture to guess you make a decent chunk of change, doing it. It's just a pay-per-view either way. Like you said, most of those people who were going are probably going to pick it up, as a stream or whatever you want to call it.
Mm.
But I don't know. It's just, would you like to play the Super Bowl at like a community college arena? No. You know what I mean? Like this is what this is for them, WrestleMania. So I think you're just going to miss all the glitz and pageantry and all that good shit. That goes along with 16 hours of fucking live wrestling action.
I think that considering the audience can't be there for this specific reason, the coronavirus and the pandemic and the lockdown and everything, you're already going to get people buying it who may not have bought it anyway. They're bored. They're at home. They want to watch something. They want some entertainment. So everybody that was going to be in the audience, yes, is going to buy it, because you wouldn't spend $500 on a WrestleMania ticket and then not spend $50 on it on pay-per-view. And then guys like yourselves, you and Alan, me not so much, you guys might pick it up because you're bored at home and wrestling's on, and why not? I don't have anything better to do. I haven't been out to the bar in 2 weeks. I might as well watch WrestleMania.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you think he's trying to take take ownership of a sportless time and even get some fair weathered fans? I could see that. It's just I mean, okay, here's a couple questions. One, do you think, because wrestlers talk to each other when they're in the ring, do you think they have masking stuff for that, or do you think there's enough noise going on to where you can't hear like a okay, clothesline now?
Ooh,
that's a good question.
I mean, you've watched a couple of these. They've done fanless Raws and SmackDowns recently.
I don't know. Or maybe since it's closed circuit, maybe they can redo some of the moves if they mess them up and retape it. Maybe that's why they're going to do it over 2 days, is so they can go long in studio, quote unquote, and then get it right. I mean, you might see the greatest production value WrestleMania that you've ever seen in your life. And that's kind of where my mind is, like, with the way they shoot it, they can use more cameras and get different angles, because normally you only have that one camera angle in the arena. Now you could set up like 6 cameras all around the ring, and you could just get super high def and just all up in the grundle on that thing, baby.
Yeah. Why not do all up in the grundle, like the synchronized swimming view?
Yep.
So we talked about earlier. Now, okay, well, let's try to get off that. All of you have played a certain amount of wrestling games on any console or any of those, right?
Yeah.
In 64, greatest wrestling game of all time.
Yeah. For sure.
Sure. So you could probably, why not put in like plywood fans to just do the same thing over and over again with just pumping noise?
You could do that.
Dude, you could make some money, do like a send in your sign contest.
Now, here's the real meat and potatoes of what I wanted to ask you. Is this the year we find out that wrestling's fake?
No.
Probably not.
Okay.
It's impossible. That's a nonsensical question that you just asked. How can you prove something's fake if it's not fake?
If it's real. Yeah. I mean,
right.
Man, I probably need to see if we got a couple wrestling purist fans out there that they can tell me what they think about this. I have mixed emotions about it. It's just, but I get it. The show must go on. Why can't you just push it out though? Because you're not. Why? Because you're going to bust up a storyline.
Yes. I mean, that's the simple answer. Yes, because you bust up a storyline.
Basically,
you need to finish that storyline out in front of no fans.
Well, okay. Let's go back in the day. There was a time where wrestling wasn't as big as it is now. They weren't filling out arenas, and so you had originally, like back in like the AWA days, you might only be in there with like 500 people.
Damn.
So, you know what I mean? So obviously we've evolved since then, but it could just kind of be a throwback. You have like family members. They might have a few people out in the crowd, but yeah, I get what you're saying. And once you said the whole pop thing from the audience, yeah, that is going to be a little weird, but maybe the wrestlers will be a little more cool, calm, and collected too. Maybe the shit talking will be better because they're not like, because these guys do get nervous. They are performers, and now they're not going to be nervous just because they're performing for each other. It could be great. It could be great there the way they perform together without having to try to impress the audience like right there live and in person.
All right, so you're not going to be watching it, right?
No, but I watch, clips on YouTube like I always do.
And I'm in reverse mirror. I'm not going to watch it. Alan?
Kelly will probably get it. I'm not going to lie.
Okay.
She's all about that shit.
Aren't you on? Don't you have the universe?
We used to. Every now and then we get it because she's probably got to watch Divas or some shit. So, But no, I think she even mentioned it like a couple days ago. She was like, we should give WrestleMania, which I'm never usually against.
Fun fact, every wrestling event I've ever been to, I have made it onto TV.
How many have you been to?
How many?
How many have you been to?
Well, we used to go a lot back in the day, but I'm trying to remember. We went to a lot of house shows back in the day, but every televised show I've ever been to, I've gotten on camera on the show. The first one was the first year of Raw. Raw is War. And Goldust, security told us that we could stand by the fence as long as there was a wrestler out of the gate. And Goldust came out and sat his director's chair right behind right behind the riot fencing. And so we were like, oh, there's a wrestler. So we ran up there and we were right behind Goldust. He sat out there for 5 matches. And me and Tom Angelonis were on camera the entire time, flipping the bird. Tom used a word to describe Goldust, which is no longer appropriate in the year 2020. He's a fruity pebble. And it made it on camera. And we got in big trouble when we got home.
Big trouble by who?
By our parents who saw us on TV using the new age F word on live television broadcast.
So you can't do that.
You and Tom's parents watch wrestling?
Well, they watched it because we were there.
Oh, in hopes that you guys would get on?
Yeah. And then one of the first dates I ever took my wife on was down at the University of South Carolina. And we were in the audience and I saw the red light come on the camera. And I gave it the good old DX like a double chop. And my guns were popping, baby. Popping out my black T-shirt. It was awesome. That was the infamous cocky bit in the ring with Triple H and Shawn Michaels. They brought Cocky to the ring, the University of South Carolina mascot.
Oh, yeah. And
they were making a plethora of penis jokes using Cocky as their cover.
God, South Carolina should be ashamed because they're the cocks, the Gamecocks. I had a hat that said cocks on it. Yeah, I never got on the handful of events I went to. Yeah, man, hats off to you. I'm glad you got. We have a fraternity brother whose nickname is Gold Dust. They used to make him do that in public areas. Like, yeah, he kind of looks like him too. I'll tell you who it is afterwards, Mur.
It's so funny.
Dude, in reality, that was a great character because he could wrestle, and it was uncomfortable, especially for the era.
Dustin Rhodes in WCW was a good wrestler. Well, folks, April 4th and 5th, check it out. A fanless WrestleMania 36, 7, 5, I don't know.
I think it's 36.
How the hell do you know? You said you didn't know earlier.
I Googled it.
When?
Like, I don't know, 30 seconds ago.
36?
I'm sitting at a computer.
36 seconds ago?
Maybe.
Wouldn't that be ironic?
Maybe 34. But, WrestleMania 36.
All right, any of you guys have a favorite WrestleMania moment?
Oh man.
Mine would be the Montreal Screwjob. I was watching it in Kyle Sumter's living room with his little brother acting all gold dusty, and and when Shawn Michaels screwed up, well, Vince. Here's why it was the most memorable.
It wasn't WrestleMania, by the way.
What's that?
It wasn't on WrestleMania.
Yeah. Was it SummerSlam?
So, I think it was Survivor Series.
Was it Survivor Series? Oh,
that's okay though. That's okay though.
Either way, that one just sticks out in my mind the most because we also watched that Hell in the Cell. Was that it? Or was that a SummerSlam? The one with Mick Foley. Where he goes off the top.
Oh, Undertaker. I think that was called Hell in a Cell.
I think that was actually a Hell in a Cell.
No, because they made the Hell in the Cell like a pay-per-view. I think after that because that was such a. It was called the Hell in the Cell. That was the match, and I think the match was so big that they created a pay-per-view around it.
Yeah, if that's the case, then it would have had to have been SummerSlam. It wasn't WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Son of a bitch. Then no. Fuck WrestleMania.
We'll end on that note.